wherever the struggle is the hardest is where you're going to get the most gold, because wherever the deepest struggles are is where the biggest enlightenment comes from.
Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Frank.
Today, what if better health starts with awareness?
How about that? Today we got Kristen Quinones and Latisha Hardy with us today, sharing how movement and lifestyle shape how we feel. Let's get encouraged.
And so the call is to show up for yourself and be willing to walk through the fire, because the fire is the transformative part.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what alchemy is.
It's been the hardest thing to not do something. Hustle mentality, this work hard. And this injury really forced me to slow down and take care of myself.
If you want to be performing better, then we have to be just taking a candid view of what do you really value, and let's construct a life around what you really value. And that means making some hard decisions.
I'm going to say that fear is a part of life, but in order to be brave requires fear. So do something courageous today.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Be Encouraged Show. We're Colorado's voice for growth and good. I'm Frank.
I'm Lisa.
Yes, you are. And today's show is sponsored by The Hive. As usual, it's a platform connecting purpose-driven dreamers to the experts who want to champion them. The Hive is where impactful visions are showcased and matched with services that care. So you can visit them, right, at The Hive?
Yes. .vision.
I knew you had that.
All right. So today we're talking about something we all experience, and that is stress, tension, and the search for feeling better in our bodies.
Oh my. Search for feeling better in my body.
Yes.
I can use that right now.
Uh-huh.
A little body feeling.
Yep.
That didn't
believe
sound very good. Better feeling in my body.
In the body.
Yeah,
yes.
There we are. Okay. You know, guys, well, we start off, I think, Kristen, that you are the host today, right?
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you,
I'm
young
glad
lady.
to be here too.
Yeah, so we start off with just a little softball question here. So, what is the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome so far in your journey?
Could be personal,
The
business,
biggest
whichever.
challenge. Yeah, that's a pretty big question.
Yeah.
So we'll pare that down a little bit to my work and impact on the community. I would say the biggest challenge in my work, working in traditional Indian medicine, is bringing something unfamiliar and ancient into modern language, so people can feel it's accessible, it's credible, it's valuable. And so that's probably the biggest challenge, is making sure I keep the information accessible in a way that people can use it. And I think that's an ongoing challenge of just being a good professional, a good teacher, and having that availability. And
So trying to
access.
contextualize your work geographically, because I know you haven't been here a long time.
I do
right?
quite a bit. Yeah, I do quite a bit. I'm a natural chronic pain relief and longevity expert. And so I work with athletes, high performers, and people who just want to feel better in their bodies. And everyone has pain.
Yeah.
And so we need to be better equipped with how to handle it and master it. Pain it serves an important function. It gets our attention.
Yeah.
It says something is not right. We need your attention and intervention over here. And so I work with people, teaching them Ayurveda, this traditional system of healing from India. I do a lot of therapeutic massage and body work, and a lot of holistic health coaching for those local here who want to integrate these longevity practices, both from this system and from my life as a competitive athlete and person who just loves life and keep moving. And that's how I met Tish. I was a former competitive ballroom dancer.
Oh my.
And I relocated to Colorado from the East Coast.
Yeah.
And Tish's studio was one of the very first places and communities that I reached out to that shared a lot of values around longevity and the benefits of moving the body and music therapy and all of these things that now neuroscience and biohackers are tapping into the value of for longevity and pain relief, especially in a time when we're so isolated and lonely.
Are you still dancing?
That's a lot, I know. I got a lot to say.
Are you still dancing though? Like
I do still dance, not competitively,
okay.
but I am still in Tisha's community peripherally, and I work with many of her dancers to keep their performance top notch and help mitigate any effects of injuries and things like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Latisha Hardy, thank you
Hello.
for coming.
You're very
here today,
welcome.
my
Thank you
friend.
for having me.
Yeah, so same question. What's been one of the most difficult things that you've had to deal with so far in life?
Yeah, I feel like my the most difficult challenge that I've come across has actually been recent. I sustained like an injury to my knee
Mm-hmm.
2 years ago. So it started in June. I started to feel pain. Yeah, I'm an entrepreneur, so I'm always go, 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 go. I didn't want to sit down. I didn't want to stop. So it just like progressively got worse. I ended up, getting an MRI. I had tears in my meniscus, and I basically went and underwent stem cell therapy. But it it wasn't just this injury. It was a lifestyle and an identity that I was holding on to, this hustle mentality, this work hard, work hard, work hard. And this injury like really forced me to slow down and take care of myself and listen. And that has been such a challenging shift because in my body, I know that it's the right thing, but in this culture, there's always this tug, this back and forth of, how much work is, as an entrepreneur, is acceptable, how much rest is acceptable. And so dealing with the challenge of understanding how to run the business, how to take care of my body, how to continue dancing, and finding this nice balance of all of it has been um, the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Physically, I've never had any physical um, hindrances. Someone says, do this thing, I do the thing. Someone says, achieve this thing, I achieve the thing. And this was the first time that I've experienced any limitations. So accepting the limitation and making the mental, physical shift, the lifestyle shift. I'm still in the middle of it, to be honest with you. I just started dancing again this year after the injury. I've always taught and all the things, but I had stopped performing, professionally. I still traveled, still did all the things, but so now getting back into work more. It's almost like exposure therapy. So going back into work and wanting to go back into the lifestyle that I wanted because it's very similar.
Yeah.
And then like having to like take a lot of breaks and be like, okay, well, I'm doing this thing now. How do I want to do it? What's the best thing for my body? And then doing that in front of everyone, right? Like as the leader in my community, it's really important to me to set a powerful example of what it looks like to take care of yourself from all the aspects. So it's still a journey. I'm still in it, and it's been the hardest thing to not do something. It's the not doing that's hard.
Right.
Yeah, the evolutionary process ain't easy.
It's not.
Right. It's not
yeah,
intended
yeah.
to be, right?
Mhm.
And often it's not until pain pushes us to a point that we actually take action instead of complain and just talk
Yes.
about it, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that what Tish really highlighted well is that shift is it's more like a dial. There's growth mode and there's longevity mode.
Mhm.
And they're at opposite ends. Growth mode demands that there's a lot of output and that there's a lot of that holding space and leadership and vision and foresight and speaking with conviction and motivating people when motivation's not there. And longevity is about restraint
Mhm.
and about being judicious with your attention, with your energy, with your talents. And so I like to remind people that when they are recovering from pain or injury, going through this evolutionary process, it's more like a dial than a switch.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to be extreme on and off.
Right.
You can hold space for both identities,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? Because that's who you are, and all of those gifts of that former identity got you where you are.
Right.
So we're not trying to kill off that character.
Yes.
we're just trying to evolve it a little bit.
Yeah,
And so that lifestyle work is, probably why we work so well
Yeah,
together too.
exactly.
And
100%.
really part of any change that you expect to be lasting is going to be a process.
Absolutely. Yeah, the process. Yeah, I read a book that really flipped switch for me. It was called To Hell with the Hustle.
I'm gonna read that.
Hustle needs a harness.
Yeah, hustle needs a harness, definitely.
Right. So yeah, it wasn't as extreme as you might think. But Chris, you teach Ayurveda.
Ayurveda.
Ayurveda,
this
right? Informed bodywork and lifestyle practices. For someone hearing that for the first time, what does Ayurveda healing actually mean in real life?
Yeah, great question. That was
That's a great question.
because it's so unknown here
Yes.
compared to where I've lived and worked before. So there's a lot of education and foundational background teaching that needs to be done. And Ayurveda is a homeopathic medical system. It's traditional medicine from India, is what it is. And it's an entire system that encompasses different branches of medicine, from pediatrics to oncology, surgery, internal medicine. And the branch that I specialize in as a massage therapist and yoga teacher is the Rasayana branch, which is also the name of my business. That's the longevity branch.
Rasayana.
Rasayana. It means longevity
Oh.
in a short transliteration from Sanskrit, but and that is the lifestyle practices, the habits of living in rhythm with the seasons, the stages of life, circadian rhythms, eating foods seasonally. A lot of traditions that our grandparents and former generations lived before the Industrial Revolution, right? And then and that was the birth of the hustle culture, right? So when we kind of got away from circadian rhythms in an agricultural society, we started to lose touch with these natural self-healing mechanisms that have evolved in our bodies for millennia. And so Ayurveda is a really practical guide to getting back to the deconditioning or unconditioning the cultural norms and getting back to these natural biorhythms.
So, Latisha, you teach Ayurveda informed body movement, correct? Or do you teach that within her studio?
I incorporate dance and dance therapy as part of my signature coaching program.
Okay.
She's the professional dance studio owner and teacher.
So are you doing any type of Ayurveda informed
I wouldn't
movement work at
I wouldn't
all?
call it that. No, I don't have the education or the knowledge that
she's experienced
Chris
some
has.
of my work.
I have experience.
Have you blended any of that into how you're teaching today to help with the healing of the bodies for your dancers? Based on your experiences with them?
Definitely. I would say it's a little different. I don't want to put that into the space because I don't have Chris's background or education.
Right.
Sure.
Though the tagline of the studio is "Don't just dance, experience." So we do approach dance from a holistic perspective.
Yeah.
I train my instructors to approach it, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever that means for each person, because spirituality is very different, is defined different by each person. To express creativity, to be able to take what people are feeling, basically, and to express that through the art of dance. And my studio is a great place for you to actually get in touch with what is it that I am even feeling, because from my experience, people walk around in life sleeping. They're not present and
more zombie-like, right?
And they're really detached from what their wants and needs are, and who they are as people. So the goal is to get to a person's authentic self, and we do that through the art of dance and through the physical body, and then to be able to take that and express it while you're moving is really powerful. I get a lot of feedback with the students that being in the studio has like changed their life. It's transformed how they can be in their own life. And I think in community, that's really powerful because then those people go into their own individual pockets of community and influence and transform. And it's just really important to have people like feel connected to self and to honor that. And sometimes the best way to do that is through, the mind body
Literally
connection.
moving the
Yeah.
body.
Yeah,
You
moving-
provide the
Mhm.
somatic experience
Exactly.
in the context of these ancient wisdom
Yeah.
practices that are not only Ayurvedic. I mean, any holistic ancient tradition around the globe has these similar universal principles of rhythm and routine and ritual.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then a big part of that is community.
Yeah.
A big part of that is moving the body and
Yeah.
processing those emotions and experiences in life that embedded in the tissues.
Yeah. And in a safe environment, right?
Yes,
Because
That's right. In a
exactly.
therapeutic
a therapeutic environment, because a lot of, it's my opinion that a lot of people don't process emotionally because they feel unsafe to do so, right?
Right.
Because of how someone might respond to what's coming up for them, how it might look. Some people, express angrily, and that's scary for people. And some people express through tears, and that's scary for
Scarier.
people.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
we really do coach that like any expression is okay and to normalize, and so that people can continue to like get in touch with their deeper authentic self.
Indeed.
Amen.
Latisha, I'm coming back at you, girl.
Okay.
I'm gonna get off script for a second.
Let's
I
go.
just have to.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Wear a coat,
Yeah,
right?
love it.
We don't wear things just simply clothing. Wear as an expression of things in our life. Today, you're wearing the struggle is real.
The struggle is real. The struggle is real.
Yeah, you want to dive into that a little bit. Why are you wearing that today?
Yeah.
Well, it's mine, so it's.
Oh, that's your branding.
That's a branding.
Okay.
Okay.
It's to normalize that life is difficult,
It
right?
is.
But wherever the struggle is the hardest is where you're going to get the most gold, right? And
Yes.
so it's not to it's not as for a negative connotation. It's for
Right.
like anyone who is in my community. Like we work really hard, and we work hard to look at the things that are the most difficult, so that we can be the most empowered that we can be. Because wherever the deepest struggles are is where the
gold
biggest
is,
enlightenment comes from,
Yes.
And so if the
We just-
struggle's not real and authentic, and when I mean real, I mean like we're doing real life together. We're not showing up with a facade.
Yes.
We're showing up and honoring and asking for people to just be exactly who they are. And so the struggle has to be real for it to be transformative.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Have you read my book? You need to write a book. Yeah, you're
One
going
day,
down there.
one day,
Can
one
I
day.
quote
Yeah, and
you
I
on
think-
that?
Absolutely.
I think it's
Yeah.
also a struggle to be authentic.
It is
a struggle to be
That's also part of the
authentic.
struggle is the
Yeah.
authenticity to move through life, because life will be coming at you, right?
100%.
Life is this way.
Yes.
And I think the ancient yogis understood this. It's like, well, there's always going to be pulsations of order and chaos. That's how the universe works.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So having these skills and being able to understand that there will be struggle, and it can be a lowercase s, right? Not every evolution requires a death, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, it's a dial, not a switch.
Mhm.
But absolutely, there needs to be some skin in the game in
Yeah.
order for there to actually be the change.
There has to be
that
risk
lasts.
for there to be
Otherwise,
reward.
it's
Yeah.
just a trend, a
Yeah,
fad. I
totally.
tried it. I
Well,
tried
you know
it.
what? It's going to be there anyway, guys.
Yeah.
It's whether you're going to
Part of being
intentionally
human.
accept it
Mhm.
and say this is part of the journey,
Yeah.
or you're going to not mature.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There you
Yeah.
go. One or the other,
Yeah.
right?
Things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a perfect segue, Chris, into my
Wait a minute, I
question.
didn't get
Oh,
the
you
rest of
didn't do
her.
that?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And then keep
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, because this is important,
right.
Latisha, as well, because you work with people from all fitness levels, right?
Absolutely.
What do you see happen when someone reconnects with movement after neglecting their bodies?
Honestly, I don't even like to look at it from like a physical perspective, because it's just so attached to a person's like action and how they present. And so what I see when people start to connect authentically and with their body is I see confidence, and then that confidence translates in many different ways. Because again, once you're starting to connect with yourself and you are accepting of that, and you're feeling more comfortable to just be in the world as you are, then that just the possibilities are unlimited. And so I just see people auras just brighten with that. And usually what happens inside of that, many different things, maybe weight loss. I don't want to make it about that, because we are accepting of what everyone's physical body, is, because, your body is your body and it's beautiful and it's made to get you through this life. Right. But the weight looks lighter. Like the body is lighter. It moves easier. It's more rested. It's vibrant. It's so it starts inside and it just kind of makes its way into your external. Yeah.
It's totally an internal.
It's
glow
totally
that
an internal glow that
It really
happens.
is.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, Chris. Now
I
you.
see that too.
Yeah, of course you do.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
so it's like, I can pick up my grandchild again.
Yeah,
I can, like,
which is
and
huge.
you don't,
Yeah.
and so in her communities it's dance, and in my communities it's maybe include dance, but it also will include just when you have mobility, pain-free mobility in your body, it allows you to be your best version of yourself. Yeah.
So talk about the chronic pain and nervous system regulations,
Yeah.
because I know you work with that. How much of what people experience physically is actually tied to stress and lifestyle patterns?
A lot of it, most of it.
I was like, all of it?
Yeah, I mean, we have to be a little bit more candid if we expect to feel better,
Yeah.
right?
Do you get your clients to be candid though and be raw and talk about
that's
that?
part of being a good coach is being able to ask the agitating questions at the right time, right, to purpose intentionally and skillfully agitate and ask the right questions. So that again, once the pain becomes great enough for someone and it becomes urgent enough, then the real commitment comes in. Because if you're waiting for motivation alone, that's not going to carry you.
Yeah.
Right? We understand that, and high performers understand that. And so if you want to be performing better, then we have to be just taking a candid view of what do you really value, and let's construct a life around what you really value. And that means making some hard decisions. It means having the capacity to build the capacity to say no and have strong boundaries, to be judicious and aware of whose company you're keeping and the influence that has on your routines and what you choose to do with your free time and talents and resources. So, none of this is groundbreaking things. Right? They're pretty simple things, but they're not
It really is groundbreaking, though.
Yeah.
It is groundbreaking.
It's
Maybe simple, not easy, but it is groundbreaking. Yes.
It's ancient wisdom that we lost touch with. It's what we already know. We just forgot. And so it really is getting back to that. And to your question of chronic pain, obviously there are instances where there's a injury to the tissue, there's a biomechanical issue like a meniscus tear, right? And that's very real. And then there comes a point where the tissue has been rehabbed, but pain persists. And this is where chronic pain and the neurological loop and the memory of pain has been embedded into the nervous system. And so this requires the repetition of new patterning in order to download a new operating system, really. Yeah. And that's why it takes time and it's not easy. We all know we should get to bed earlier and get more sleep, but is it easy to do that? No, And so
it's gotten easier.
That's right.
Time gotten older.
Yeah, exactly. And when you hang around the right company and you have you're prioritizing the relationships that share the same values. And when you can master that, then things get a lot easier. And then you're more accountable for when things go wrong or when you blow off something you said you were going to do. And that's where the real work is. And then usually it takes a minimum of 9 months of consistent repetition, training the mind, learning new habits, building the relationships before the chronic pain is no longer chronic, right?
Yeah.
And then now we're really down like a new program. So
Well,
it's
the months are
complex.
going to
It's
pass
never
anyway,
one thing.
right? Yeah, you might as well do something that's going to be helpful. You know, you brought up the word agitation for me, and that I thought, when you put your clothes in a washing machine, they get agitated, they get clean.
Right, to release.
Right, to release the stuff on them that you don't want on them, right? So agitation is really a good thing, but we don't have a culture that sees it that way.
No, we
Right.
don't.
So,
And that's why we suffer, right?
It
So
is why we suffer.
it's a mixture of the candor and the compassion.
Yeah.
And a skillful teacher will meet their student wherever they're at.
Where they are.
And that takes time to figure out where they're at. Because sometimes you think you're at a certain point of skill or ability, and there are certain foundational steps that were skipped or missed. And so a good coach is going to pull you back or reframe. And yeah, it is agitating. But if you want things to stay the same, then don't call me.
Yeah, or me.
You know?
Because we'll say it like it is. Like we rip the Band-Aid off and go real quick.
Yeah, like we'll meet you with where you're at.
Yeah.
We'll work where you're at. But at the end of the day, you do have to choose.
Yeah, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Correct.
Exactly.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, Chris, for you combine ancient techniques like
Abhyanga.
Thank you.
Abhyanga.
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 We didn't have
Yeah, really good. Yeah, Lisa.
We didn't have those words in the hood.
Yeah, definitely not. Not in the U.S.
Well, you combine that with modern myofascial work.
Yeah, these are some terms. That
Yeah, so I
vague.
know. I think sometimes those are the limiting spaces because we're trying to converse with people and we're almost speaking a different
they're
language,
clinical.
right?
They're clinical, yeah.
Yeah, they are very clinical. So what makes that combination so effective for long-term health?
Well, it's that modern times and the environments that we find ourselves living in have such a huge toxic load, environmentally, chemically, socially, culturally. And so no one discipline is enough anymore.
So break it down. What's Abhyanga?
So Abhyanga is a traditional Ayurvedic massage, lymphatic massage
Okay.
with customized herbal oils because the skin is the largest organ in the
Feeling it
body.
even as you're speaking.
Right. And it's more than just pleasure, right?
Yeah.
It's medicine too,
Yes.
because we're bringing plant medicine through the skin, the largest organ of the body.
Yeah.
We have touch, which is very much therapeutic. We know when we whack our elbow, we rub it. When we pet our pup, when we hug our companion, there's a real exchange of energy there that's measurable electromagnetically and chemically. There's literally alchemy happening with touch, right?
Yeah.
And then we have the actual science of tissue and the fact that fascia, this connective tissue, is the most connecting and loving tissue we have in the body. Where science is now understanding it does more than just support joints and muscles structurally, which was the medical understanding of it. It was what you cut away in surgery to get to the problem.
Right.
Where now we're understanding that this connective tissue has more free nerve endings than any other tissue in the body, which means it's the master communicator with every organ, every system, every thought, every emotion. I mean, this is the world's first internet, really. Really. And so when we talk about blending,
I love that.
right? It really is.
Yeah,
It is that mycelium that is in the body that is in constant communication with what's happening around us externally. And as an organism, how are we adapting with our environment to thrive and succeed, right? And so that's why you need both,
Yeah.
right? Because when these traditions were originally practiced 5, 7, 10, 15,000 years ago, we didn't have Netflix and a need for 2 jobs to pay rent and a need, you know what I
Or
mean?
for Netflix.
That's whatever it is, right? The distraction, that pace,
Oh,
that
my.
hustle pace, and that
Yeah.
message that you're not enough.
Right.
So that's why I
Yeah.
blend them both, because we're seeing that the structural work and body work is not enough, because you can't separate body from mind and spirit and soul. We know this. Dance knows this really well.
Yes.
And
it
ancient cultures do this. They use dance to connect with ancestors, to consult with ancestors. Some of the native indigenous tribes in this area will use dance and
I
at
watched that on
powwows
National Geographic.
diagnostically to tell whether a person is
Yeah.
out of sync with their soul.
Mm.
That is how a lot of Native American
Yeah.
indigenous tribes use community dance, and see, well, where are you out of sync with your soul, because you're not moving right.
Mm.
Right? So it's this beautiful reconnection, I think, of, again, what we lost. We always had it. It was built in us. It's just been buried, numbed, and dumbed down. And so the call is to show up for yourself and be willing to walk through the fire, because the fire is the transformative part.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what alchemy is.
So, Latisha, your business isn't just about fitness, right? It's about transformation. You kind
Yeah.
of tapped into that.
Yeah.
So, what shifts when someone commits to a lifestyle of movement, recovery, and consistency in your studio?
I can't speak for everyone, right? And so, what the studio does is we have a way of bringing to the forefront what someone's goals are, and I don't even really like that word, but like what their greatest wants and desires are, like what's going to have them feel complete. And so we walk them through how to achieve that, and so the possibilities are, again, endless, but it is really tailored to each individual about what it is that they need for themselves to feel, whole and complete, to feel empowered, to feel confident, to just be in life. And um, with it's like when you uncover and achieve those things, it's like the side effect is I can pick up my grandkid, or I can go for long walks. I reconnected with my parents that I haven't spoken to in many years. Like, it's all of these different things that when you feel so connected to self, that the fear of doing or not doing something kind of starts to dissipate. And then you start to see in all of these different areas, relationships start to become transformed. When your relationship with your body, your relationship to food, your relationship to social media, all of those things start to shift when we focus on like the root of the problem, which
Yes.
is ourselves,
Yeah.
right? And so it's our problems just express for each individual differently, right? But ultimately, it's about being courageous and being brave to like see yourself and to forgive, accept, forgive, move forward. That the rest of those side effects start to just fall into place. Yeah.
That's so
You
awesome.
get to see your own
You
capacity.
get to
again.
see your own capacity again. Mhm.
That's so incredible. Latisha, I want to follow up that question with
Yeah.
you, young lady. For someone who feels out of shape or
Mhm.
disconnected from their bodies,
Yeah.
what's the first step that they can take without feeling overwhelmed?
Yeah, totally. So we have on the schedule 3 times a week, we do an absolute beginner class. It is designed to be very welcoming. It is designed, all of the classes are specifically to adults coming in. Adults are afraid of everything.
Yeah.
We're just so scared of life. So
It's true.
it's designed to like soothe the nervous system. So we start with the very, very basics of like salsa and bachata. Even from the moment that you walk into the space, it's designed to feel warm and welcoming, because at the end of the day, we're all just afraid that someone's going to reject us,
Yeah.
right? And
Right.
so it's set to like create psychological safety and security. Like, it's not about the dancing; it's about psychological safety and security. And so, the way that the classroom is set up is for that purpose. And you see from when they first walk in to like when they leave, they're a completely different person, because it's like, oh my gosh, this is a safe place to be, and I can do this, and
Yes.
it's just really fun to watch someone come in like shy, super like reserved and like scared and anxious. However you would express those things to like, that was cool. Yeah, I'm glad you did that.
Yes.
You know? And all of a sudden I'm getting someone's life story by the end of it because they're like, oh yeah, no, I can talk to you.
Yes.
You know, but it's really just getting someone out of their, like, again, just getting people out of their own way. It's
Yes,
like,
exactly.
what is there to be afraid of? You know, even if someone does say something, you know, off the cuff that doesn't resonate with you, it's, you know, again, in my space, it's like, that's theirs, that's not yours. And like,
Yeah.
we really try to like show and teach people like, to like detach from other people's stuff.
Yes.
You know? Because the more you grow and develop as an individual, the less that other stuff like ultimately matters. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel about what I'm doing, because at the end of the day, I'm going home with myself. And if I'm
Yes.
proud of what that looks like, then this is what I'm doing.
Exactly.
And you can have all the opinions you want. And so, but people are so afraid of what other people perceive them as. And it's just like, it's like you're walking around like in your own handcuffs, you know, you're chaining yourself to other people, and that removes the control that you have to be great, which you already are.
Yes, you
Yes.
are.
You know,
Yes,
like,
you are.
everyone is amazing.
Yeah.
It's just getting to that. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right on.
So, Chris, if someone wants to start improving their health holistically, what's one small habit they can begin today that would actually make a
Start recommitting to a bedtime routine.
I knew you were going to say that.
difference?
Sleep is
Sleep
number
is
one.
so important.
So important.
Because not
Agreed.
until you're feeling rested enough at the start of your day can you really get to the harder tasks at hand. So really get serious about ending the commitments earlier in the day so that you have the wind down time you need to get adequate and consistent sleep. And so that I recommend people work in increments. Start your nighttime routine 15 minutes earlier, just for a week, and get that in rhythm. And then after you've gotten that down pat, because it takes some trial and error,
It does.
then maybe the next week or a few weeks, then you dial it back another 15 minutes. Now you're at 30 minutes earlier.
I think
Right.
that's so great.
And
oh my gosh.
it's the only way that lasting change is made.
It's
you
small
know?
little steps,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. I use something called the Kaizen method in my coaching program, Alchemy Club. And that's my signature program where I walk people through these habits and lifestyle programs in that contained space that's safe, and teach them that this is small incremental improvements are the only ones that are going to last. And Kaizen is that term, it's a Japanese term actually,
How do
for
you say
that
it?
1% improvement.
Kaizen.
Kaizen.
Guys,
Keizen.
it's close to your name, dude.
Yeah. He's Kylan.
No, kind of like the quinoa and quinones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's incremental and slow. Get to bed earlier and earlier. Your life, everything will become easier.
Well, I think it's great because you both literally are all about healthy lifestyles and being intentional, doing the small things like entering your studio, feeling safe right before they go to the next steps. And then you're talking about just doing that 15 minutes increments. I mean, that little small things like that can be so powerful. I love what you guys are doing. Thank you for what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you're welcome.
Yeah, I had a takeaway as well from our time together today. Thank you, ladies. You know, both of you showed that healing isn't just physical. It's mental, emotional, and even relational. And I put a big circle around that relational part.
Absolutely.
Because I think that really lends itself to getting these other things aligned, and the alignment of your lives, what you're putting in the community and how you're helping humanity is just wondrous to behold. Thank you for showing our audience how alignment looks from different perspectives.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Ask
With
away.
what you're both doing, how are you utilizing AI, and do you feel that it's a thing in your movement?
Great question. I'll let you go first.
I use it every day.
Same.
No, it's like, because one of the things I still manage heavily in the business is like marketing. So, prior to like AI being this big thing, like, I'm over here like trying to organically create all this stuff. And now I'm just like, okay, AI, this is what it's been. This is what I want to achieve. Like, give me 20 things I can work with, because, the key is to get to ask for a lot of things. Because you will say that and they'll give you 3 and it's all poo. And then you're like, well, I want more than that. And so I like get ideas from everywhere, and then I like create packages based off of AI. I sometimes change graphics. It's just, it's so much easier. We use AI in our marketing system because we do a lot of text messages. Someone comes in and texts immediately go out. That's all AI. And you can also talk to AI and tell them how you want them to respond differently and to like capture a new voice. I can't imagine running my business at this point without AI.
I agree.
I mean,
I think that as a business owner, entrepreneur, if you're not using AI, you're already behind.
You are, definitely.
And so, I use it daily. I use it, as a business owner for a lot of automated process, like she's talking about, responding, whether it's a chat message on social media or a text message.
Yeah, absolutely.
I use AI for ideation. So we're coming up with new concepts and programs.
Totally.
I'm about to publish a book in November on chronic pain and Ayurvedic
exciting.
massage. And so I just recently had Claude and I work together for the last month, creating a whole companion to the book on my mobile app. Right. So AI, there's so many different kinds of AI available now for different tasks.
Mm-hmm.
So there's, this AI does great for creating graphics and images.
Mm-hmm.
This AI is great for creating linear thoughts. This one is great for math. This one's great for that. So, once you build more of these tools in AI, you just are able to 10x your output, your impact. I think assets become more valuable and impactful for people because it's beyond what any single person could do. So that I'm enjoying it. I use it cautiously. Obviously I'm investing more time in educating myself as a business owner on where AI is headed. And then just kind of being a spiritual person and also wanting to make sure we've got some guardrails in place for ethics and morals and some philosophical consideration.
That's where
as
the
we're
human
training.
component comes in.
Correct. And
like you for your dance studio, for example, you want still your vibe, your feel.
Yes, absolutely.
That doesn't want to be diminished.
I don't want that diminished at all.
And AI will be reliant on how well you train it.
100%.
So if you put in the time to train it and say, this is my voice, my brand, my values, my offer, my this, my that, over time, then that AI can be your clone. And I do have, I've met business owners already making clones of themselves with AI to be able to respond to the inquiries I'll put on social media or wherever their marketing funnel brings their people to them. And then once the people are there, well, then the real you delivers the asset.
100%.
But the clone and the AI allows you to actually cast your net wider and further and be more impactful in doing it.
I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Chris, I'm going to start with you. This is my favorite part of the show.
Yeah.
Since you're the panel host, I would like you to look at that camera, tell them all of your services, how to reach you, and then I want you to encourage the world, please.
Encourage the world.
Yes.
Buckle up, buttercup.
That's
so funny. Yeah, no, I will say if you want to read, I'm in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and you can reach me at my website, www.rasa, R-A-S-A, dash, not underscore, but dash, Yana, YANA.com. You can message me directly from there, see the bodywork services and therapeutic massage, Ayurvedic health coaching that I offer, as well as book me to train your staff at destination spas and wellness centers if you want them to learn these modalities and techniques and bring them into your community. Reach out.
Right on.
Encourage the world.
Encourage the world. Take a breath. Take a beat.
go to bed.
Nice. I love that.
Perfect.
Take a breath, take a beat, and go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that to my husband.
I say it
I
to
love
myself
it. That's so
multiple
great.
times a day.
You're next.
Oh, I'm
Take it
gonna go
away.
too.
Yes.
Okay, so you can go to www.latishahardy.com. That's LATISHAHARDY.com. You can take a look at all of the different classes that we offer. We go from absolute beginner to professional dance services. We teach group classes, private lessons, rent the studio, we do socials, we do events, we do weekend workshops. There's just a huge host of things that are offered at the space. You can also message us directly from the website to get a hold, and you can even book all by yourself your first free class there as well. And you would like me to also encourage the world. I'm going to say that fear is a part of life, but in order to be brave requires fear. So do something courageous today.
Love that. Thank
Love
you
it.
so much, ladies.
Love
This
it.
is awesome.
We're sponsored by Brandon Kirk from Planet Duck.
Yes, he's the owner of Planet Duct, and he has the largest vacuums, strongest vacuums. And what is his slogan again, Frank?
Yeah, they're stronger than the vacuum of space. And Brandon and his family, with his 3 children, are just incredible. I know them personally. We've had a great opportunity to know them. He's a great family man. 25 years been married to, what is his wife's name? Gaba?
Gaba. And she is a beautiful artist. And yes, they have an amazing farm as well. But he loves the Colorado Springs. His give back throughout all local businesses in town is amazing. And we sure do appreciate him in town.
And one last thing, you know, many of you didn't know this, but Brandon has mentored many small business people in this community.
Yes.
His give back to our community is exceptional. So they really are.
Stronger than the vacuum of space.
Look up Planet Duck.
So that's it for today's episode of Be Encouraged. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us, and go to our Facebook page and LinkedIn and see all the things that we're doing. And remember, pick up a copy of our Encouragement Revolution book. If you align with our mission to infuse hope and encouragement to the world, pick up your copy today. This will be your guide to become a hope infuser as well.
Indeed. Oh, Lisa, great start to our day with these wonderful young ladies.
Yeah.
And beautiful and wonderful young ladies. I thought I'd throw that in for free.
Yep.
Yeah, so we are to Be Encouraged show with Frank and Lisa. And as always, we are real talk, real growth, real Colorado. Stay encouraged.
Nice.